So the components of CBTi. So CBTi starts with a grounding in sleep knowledge. So it's incredibly common when you have insomnia to try and convince yourself that you already know about sleep. So that's certainly how I was during my 20 years of insomnia. So I knew everything there was to know about GABA, serotonin, dopamine. I looked into every supplement and how each individual supplement altered the brain in order to make me sleep. I knew every single relaxation technique under the sun, but I wasn't sleeping. And as soon as I did my CBTi course, I learned actual sleep knowledge that did help me sleep, and I realised that actually I didn't have a clue. And it's quite hard to kind of admit that to yourself, because I'd spent 20 years doing all this stuff, convincing myself I knew about sleep, but I didn't at all. So the foundation of the sleep knowledge is really two things. So it's about sleep drive and it's about hyperarousal. So the only thing that produces sleep is your drive to sleep. I have another video that I'm going to be talking a lot more about sleep drive, which I'm going to be linking at the end. I'm not going to go into it now because I talk about it loads in all my other videos. And also hyperarousal. So hyperarousal is that physiological change in your body that masks your sleep drive in order to keep you safe. And again, I'm going to be talking a lot more about that in my other video, where I'm also going to be telling you some of these behaviour changes you want to be putting in place to build a strong sleep drive and tackle that hyperarousal. But yeah, so the sleep knowledge, so you've got things like the stages of sleep, you have the 8-hour sleep myth. People don't need to sleep for 8 hours a night. And you're just drilling down into how you sleep and why you sleep, and the behaviours you need to be doing in order to get sleep, basically. And it also then goes into what behaviour changes you need to make in order to build that strong sleep drive and to tackle the hyperarousal. So the behaviour changes are waking up at the same time every single day. So stimulus control, that's leaving the bedroom in order to teach your brain that wakefulness is not a threat, and to break down the association that the bed is a place of worry and wakefulness. And you're also going to be having the sleep window, the stimulus control, which restricts your time in bed. And the purpose of that is to build a strong regulated sleep drive and to tackle the hyperarousal around it. So in my book, I teach something slightly different called a sleep window, which is based on stimulus control but without the time component. So in stimulus control, after 15 minutes of being in bed and awake, you leave the bedroom and do something you find relaxing and enjoyable and return to bed once you feel calm again and sleepy again. In my book, I base it on how you feel. So if you're calm, you're happy, relaxed in bed, then you stay there because that's what we want. I'm trying to teach you that the bed is not a threat, so I'm not basing it on time. But if you start to feel that anxiety and stress around sleep, that's when you leave the bedroom. So yeah, I don't do any time. I don't have any time component in what I teach. But yeah, so the stimulus control is probably one of the most powerful, most effective techniques to overcome your insomnia. And also CBTi is going to be using a lot of cognitive restructuring techniques just to tackle those thought patterns that lead to that hyperarousal. And cognitive restructuring techniques are a little bit more hard to understand in a short video, but yeah, I spend the whole book basically teaching that, and any professional in CBTi will know what to say and what to do in order to get you to completely change your thought patterns around sleep and just to bring that anxiety and bring that stress down. But really it comes down to understanding that there's nothing you can do to make and force yourself to sleep during the short term, but what you can do is build a strong regulated sleep drive over the long term to help you sleep over the long term. It's really about shifting that mindset from trying to make yourself sleep in the short term to building strong habits and strong behaviour changes to help you sleep over the long term. And it's also really about lowering expectations around sleep, because actually normal sleepers don't sleep well every single night. They only sleep for about 70% of the time, and so it's about trying to get you to have more realistic expectations around sleep, so you don't get stressed and worried and anxious when, just like normal sleepers, you have that occasional bad night. And you will get to the point where it is only the occasional bad night, as I am now, because I finished my CBTi course 2 years ago, and I pretty much sleep well most nights and still get the occasional night's sleep, but I don't go down that rabbit hole of feeling anxious and worried and stressed about sleep. And if you want to learn more, I've got it all in the books. I've got all the behaviour changes you need to make. I've got loads of other stuff in there, not covered in CBTi, like the timeless night, which gets rid of all time components during the night to stop you clock watching. And I have a story of my own insomnia, just so that you feel that actually your insomnia isn't unique or special at all, because all my thought patterns and everything I do, you will see that I do it all as well in my book. So yeah, that's basically CBTi. So the video that you should really be watching to help overcome insomnia is only about 7 minutes long, and it is here, and it is absolutely fantastic. Alright, thanks so much for watching. Cheers, bye bye.